Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
Hey, Coach Jay, I can hear you loud and clear. Welcome back at the buzzers
Welcome.
for an interesting day.
Yes, it was. Very interesting day today. Very interesting day. We got some news, some fake news, markets moving. But welcome everyone to At the Buzzer, our market recap. If this is your first time here, the goal of this segment is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before. We believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we can take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. If this is our first time meeting, I'm Coach Jay. Been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. I'm here to share some of my experience, some knowledge, and hopefully help you become a better trader.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Coach Paul. You are all our chat, our audience. Thank you for joining us each and every day that you do. I haven't been working out lately. Ander Bo says I must have been working out lately, looking good. I appreciate the comment. It's just I gotta thank my barber. Gotta give him an extra tip, I guess. I think it's just a haircut. Actually, since I got the puppy, I've been going on more walks, but I have not been in the gym as much as I would like. So maybe it's working. I don't know. But I appreciate.
I always thought you looked in shape myself.
I appreciate that, Coach Paul. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. But we also appreciate you all joining us each and every day that you do. See 500 people watching right now for a little market recap here. So let's get into it. Take a look at the news first. We did have some numbers come out this morning, starting with the private payroll number from ADP. ADP employment change came in at negative 32,000. Forecast was positive 10,000. So a 42,000 miss there for that jobs number. Prior number was 42K. And that revised prior number was actually positive 47K. We had an industrial production number come out, 0.1%. Forecast was 0.05%. S&P Services PMI final came in at 54.1. Forecast was 55. ISM Services came in at 52.6. Forecast was 52. So pretty in line with expectations. Crude oil, big miss as always, 0.574 million when the forecast was negative 2 million. And there were some weird things going on with the EIA today. I think they had some delays in releasing their data, but looks like we finally got those numbers. And then we had some interesting news this morning. We were talking about it during the opening call. We saw the equity sell-off, and the news was that Microsoft was lowering its sales quotas for AI. And then about 2 hours later, news came out that said that was not true. Interesting times that we're living in here. Anything else you got on the news, Coach Paul?
I just found it interesting that news came out before the open.
Yeah.
By the way, what was the source of the news?
It came from a source called The Information.
So not a Wall Street Journal or Reuters or Bloomberg. It's interesting. I've never heard of it.
Theinformation.com. I mean, if I need an opportunity to buy a market, AI could probably spin up a website before market open and produce a headline that an algo might catch on to. But I'm going to take my tinfoil hat off. We got a show to do here.
Yes, we do.
Let's take a look at the markets. There are 36 different markets we can trade with Topstep accounts. And today, to the downside, we had soybeans down 0.76%, corn down 1.5%, and soybean oil, is that ZL, soybean oil, down 1.84%. Yeah, right. Calling your website The Information and having the wrong information is it's interesting.
Well, it is information.
It is information.
It didn't say it was true.
Right. Look at the soybean oil chart. What's that white line there?
What's it? Support for now.
What is that? I have not looked at soybean oil, I don't think, really all year to actually trade it. But this was a pretty nice trade in the overnight session. I don't know what was going on with the soybeans, but pretty nice.
Yeah, soybeans were much the same.
Yeah.
There was, probably came out of China. No, we're not buying American soybeans.
Huh.
Look at that. Is that the soybeans?
Yeah, this is a soybean chart. All the ags down today. Everything else pretty much up though. To the upside, we had copper up 2.89%, natural gas up 3.57%, and micro Ethereum futures, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 5.7%. To talk about our big four, we have crude oil up 0.82%, the S&P up 0.34%, gold up 0.46%. We already mentioned natural gas up 3.55%, and the NASDAQ up 0.17% on the day, pretty much unchanged in the NASDAQ over there. Natural gas, man, we said it a couple weeks ago. We were going to add it. We had to make our big four a big five. And this is why. This is it's not going to be like this for the rest of the year, or not going to be like this for the whole year. But something about this market, Coach Paul, we say it every time we start this segment. Our goal is to identify opportunity and see how we could take advantage of these opportunities. And natural gas is presenting some opportunity right now to the upside. That is a trending market and got above that 200-day moving average, which was initially a target, and looks like it is trending higher. Kind of just got to look to the left for where it might be going.
Well, also was bought early.
Yes,
and
it was.
Was bought last night. And just about every half an hour until the opening, and it continued.
Yes, wow. Yes, it was. We'll take a look at that when we get to the energies, but let's take a look at the equities. I'm going to pull up a NASDAQ chart here. We're going to go out to the daily. What are you seeing here on the daily, Coach Paul?
Like we talked yesterday, very healthy.
Yep.
Buy the dips. Nice V-shaped. It should, maybe in January we'll have all-time highs. Or maybe there'll be a Christmas present for equity holders, but very friendly. Above the downtrend line, above the 20 and the 50 on a recovery. It does what it's supposed to do. It goes up when there's no news.
Right. Or it goes down on questionable news and then goes right back up when everyone says, hey, you know what? That was just another dip buying opportunity. We are 3%, less than 3% off the all-time high now in the NASDAQ, trading 25,650 right now. Let's take a look at a shorter time frame chart. And what I really like about this is, and we talked about this candle so much, but the high of this October 10th candle, this was the tariff candle, is starting to act as a support. I don't know where my volume indicator went, but we're going to add it back to the charts. We are seeing lower volume on the daily, but that's kind of to be expected just this time of year. Lower participation, but sometimes that lower participation means just the markets are going to continue to grind up. And that is kind of what we're seeing. We're seeing, volume below the daily average. But what are equities markets meant to do? They are meant to go up, and that is what we're seeing right now. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Last night, kind of quiet overnight session, I would say.
Very quiet. Stayed, we've been in this range for 3 days now.
Yep.
We're still, maybe this is the fourth. I've been just looking that's a tough trade. I didn't trade equities overnight, but they had a chance to go. They had some buying early, but yesterday's highs still holding. And then what is the name of that? Information? The information came.
The information.
And it took all day to recover from that.
Yep.
But really, take that candle out. It really didn't do anything today.
No, they just the information must be a 200 moving average trader. Because brought it right back down to that 200 moving average, near the 200 moving average. Didn't get a tag of it. But yeah, that was pretty much the range for the rest of the day. We talked about this during the opening call. When the volume comes in for the New York session, does it sustain this move, or is this something that's just going to turn around? I think, this is a perfect example of when we say news expedites the move. Uh, when we look at this candle a year from now, we may not remember what exactly caused this movement, but this was a range bound market this morning, right? And Hogan and I doing the opening call, we said, range opportunities are in play. You just said it as well, Coach Paul. They were kind of channeling upwards, but not very convincingly. And even before that information came out, it looked like a decent short at the highs of the range, and then the number comes out, and then we just have a range bound day, right? Trade back down to the lows of the range, and then right back up. Let's take a look then at the shorter time frame. Let's take a look at the New York session open. I'm going to leave the information candle on there. We have that framed out here, and here is the New York session open. Got to do that in a different color. We're going to go white. And just no follow through, right? We rejected at 50% of that candle a couple of times, but just no follow through to the downside, where it was kind of like the market had to digest what just happened pre-market and didn't really see another reason to sell it.
Well, also, what's the date?
Today's date, December 3rd.
And what month is that?
The last month
December.
of the year.
And low volume. Now, bonuses come out after Christmas, the big bonuses, the seven-figure bonuses. There's not many traders who are willing to put too much money to work in December to take risk. So what happens to the volume? It tapers off.
Yep.
And this is when you're going to hear us every day. And today is like a characteristic of it. Like silly news drives a market hard down and then just takes the rest of the day to come back.
Right.
To me, that is definitely a sign of what's to come for the rest of this month. Personally, I'm going to buy myself.
I agree with you.
I'm going to trade down.
I agree with you. What does that mean to us as day traders? It's be patient, right? Be patient in your opportunities. There is going to be opportunity to trade, but this was just a kind of slow grind day up. The rest of the day, we did get some nice pullbacks into VWAP, but markets in its natural state after whatever that was, in its natural state, kind of just grinding up here. We did get some decent pullbacks, but 70 point moves to the downside before we continue to the upside in the NASDAQ. And then once we really got going after fast markets time, it was just slow grind up. So if you are trading these markets, there's opportunity. There was opportunity on both sides today. If you caught this move here, but when we start, and Hogue talked about this morning, if we break out of this range that we're in, it's just going to be a tough move to try to fade. Right. Once we break out of this range, if we break out of this range, when we break out of this range, because we're not going to stay here forever. We shouldn't, right? That'll be maybe not a move that you want to fade, especially if it's to the upside. Again, these markets just grind shorts up, and that's what it did all day. And hi, Maria says, so pretty much buy. I can't say that because that would be financial advice, but what was the easier trade today, if there was an easy trade? Right, you kind of got to look at it that way.
All right, I'm glad you brought that up. Let's look at it from this point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Remove the night session, just put regular trading hours.
There we go.
So that opening range, VWAP never left. It took, an hour and a half?
Yeah.
So without that news, really, we just gapped down, filled the gap, and continued. That was it. So is it a buy? I don't know. And one of the things when we have that idea, we start anchoring ourselves to having to buy it. And then if we're not disciplined in executing it, some type of structure or plan, you'll find an excuse to buy it. So, it's an uptrend. I myself, I look for buying. But don't anchor. There could be a nice structure that you trade on a sell. You won't know until it comes up.
Right.
So trying to remain neutral in your so you can just so you get into a flow of watching the market develop. Just a little coaching there, but yeah, it looks good, but that doesn't mean there won't be some selling.
Right. Yeah, and on a day like today, trade location matters a lot, right? Because if we're buying up at these highs, where it's channeling higher. When a market is channeling like this, it has these sharp pullbacks, right? So if it's just a blind buy with no real consideration for trade location, you could have a 70-point move to the opposite side of your trade before we continue in that direction. And if you're not trading with a wide enough stop, that is a potential to get stopped out and be right about the direction. So us as day traders, timing and location really do matter. Uh, Anything else you got on the Nasdaq, Coach Paul?
No, but someone had a good question. What probably a new viewer? Rollover. What
Okay.
does it mean in equities?
Yeah.
All right. In futures, we trade month contracts. They expire in a month. The latest is December futures. That's the lead contract. That's where most of the volume is. Now, in equities, the futures contracts expire every 3 months or quarterly. It is now December 3rd, so in about 2 weeks, March will take over as the lead month. And the open interest, that means hedgers, position traders, whoever keeps open positions, if they want to keep them, they will have to roll them from December to the March contract. Because once December goes off the board, it's done. It's cash settled. How does it affect you? It really doesn't, because Topstep's not going to allow you to trade anything but the front month. So, and we don't carry positions, but it will affect the markets, especially in volume, reading volume. And it'll have some jerky effects. But overall, as a day trader, if I didn't tell you there was a roll going on, and you just traded, it opened up, and you traded during the day, you wouldn't know it. But if you watch technicals like volume, it can create a little disruption. What the heck is that?
That's the Dow.
Who said it was random?
That is the Dow. That is what you call urgency early. And if you are a new viewer, when you hear Coach Paul and I say urgency, what we're looking at is a defined range and then the market leaving that range urgently. And that is the case here. Not just price left that range, volume left that range to the upside as well. Pretty early, we can see we came down, tagged 50% of that range again, and up, and away. That was the trend for the rest of the day. This is just the New York session. I do want to take a look at a higher time frame chart here on the Dow, because this is probably going to be the first one to make an all-time high. We are just under 1% off the all-time high in the Dow, and it kind of looking like the strongest market right now. So interesting stuff here. Let's take a look at the 30. Pull this back to extended trading hours.
What is that white
I
line?
don't know. They keep getting away with this somehow. Keep getting away with this. I think the
I like that 3-minute chart.
Acknowledged.
With
Oh, yeah.
regular trading hours.
Absolutely. So what we had in the overnight session, another quiet overnight session, we had VWAP staying above the 200 moving average. We came down, they gave us a test of it where they didn't in the NASDAQ, traded below it on that Microsoft news. And then we get the urgency on the open, and that was just a one directional move. There are other equity markets to trade. We talk about a few different markets here. We have the Russell as well. We'll take a look at that chart. It looks very similar to this one. Sometimes, traders say, "Oh, this is difficult price action where it's choppy." I don't know that you can define this market that way today, at least today. And is it always going to look like this? It's not. But compare this chart to this chart. They both did the same thing. One did it in a way where it looked like a wooden roller coaster missing wheels.
Wait, stop. Can you say that again?
A wooden roller coaster missing wheels. Which one would you define that as, chat? Number 1 or number 2?
You heard it here first, folks. That's going to be an old saw.
Yeah. It is this one. This one over here is number 2, right? That is going to take, and again, you could be right about the direction, but it's a 70-point pullback, 80-point pullback in the NASDAQ. Now, do they always move in tandem this way? They don't. But I would be hard pressed to find Dow days that look like this. And there are some. There are some. But it's more often than not a cleaner market. And I mean, look at the Dow yesterday. This wasn't clean, but neither was the NASDAQ. Right. There are other equity markets to trade.
Well, here's another. There's not much retail trading Dow or Russell.
Right.
I mean, the leading volume is NASDAQ. There's a lot of retail in that.
Mm-hmm.
It's also structured differently than the Dow. It's hard to manipulate any stock in the Dow 30. I mean, there's no one trader that's going to do it.
Right.
It's a tale of two different indices.
Why does everyone default to the NASDAQ, Coach Paul?
I don't know. It's got the most volume. And I'm not putting it down. If you're trading it,
yeah,
God bless you.
Right.
But just looking at it that way, sometimes you don't have to trade. There's so much opportunity.
Yep.
We hear, how many times do we hear about NAS crack? And, we see a lot of people bitching about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the NASDAQ's game.
Yep.
It's a frat party on a football homecoming weekend.
Right.
Where the Dow is a club on Wall Street. It doesn't have all that. Well, look, I mean, the choppy action.
Yeah.
But either way, if you're struggling, sometimes it's go find something else to trade. There's a lot of different places. You don't have to be there.
Absolutely. Yeah, just a much cleaner move. I mean, even look at the news reaction. It's just a much smaller move here than what we got in the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ selling off almost a full percent, where the Dow is 0.5%. So yeah, just bringing awareness to other markets. Again, you're going to trade what makes sense to you. We actually had Cole on earlier today, and he said he looked at his stats, and he's more profitable trading the NASDAQ than he is the S&P, even though people consider it the S&P. So you do have to find what fits your personality. But what we can say is that, if you're okay, and what I will say about maybe trading the Dow or the Russell, and this is just sometimes the Dow is crazy and it, is moving pretty fast. You might have to get accustomed to a slower pace of the market, but I don't always know that that's necessarily a bad thing. Good evening, Sam. Good to see you here. What
And
time
by the
frame?
way, that Dow chart is a 3-minute
Yeah,
chart.
3 minute chart. Can you pull up the hourly? Analyze those equal lows around 25,400. I'm hoping we sweep and blast it out soon. I mean, that 420 level in the Nasdaq, Dakota's been looking at that. Yeah, kind of equal lows here. I think if we see another range day tomorrow, then yeah, that looks like an interesting spot. That 420 level has been, and the Nasdaq's on the top right here. That 420 level has been an interesting area uh, for execution all week. So we will see if we get down there. All right.
Interesting. About the same volume on the cells.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's
Well, what was the news this day? Anybody remember? Who knows? Something came out. What was the news yesterday? The news of the
look
day.
at that.
Again, newspapers don't have blank pages. Newspapers don't have blank pages. All right. Let's take anything else you got on the equities, Coach Will?
That's it. Oh, did we go through Rusty? It was basically
The Russell was a little
was-
different. We did have some urgency last night in the Russell. Let's full screen this chart here. Go down to a 30-minute. Maybe not. It was a slow
Yeah.
overnight session as well, and then we get that news
regular
candle.
trading hours.
Yep. Yeah.
There was urgency right off the bat.
Right off the bat. Take a look at the 3-minute chart.
By the way, is there anybody trading Rusty overnight?
Yeah.
Now that's one thing I wouldn't like. No, I'm not going to trade that.
Right.
But why is it's a really regular trading hours chart? It works beautifully.
Yep.
But yeah, they came after it, much like the Dow.
Yep. Absolutely.
Now, once again, it might be a December spread, where this could be happen in December for reasons such as if I'm going to have to buy stocks in December and I don't want to wreck my bonus, I can buy safe stocks. We'll see. But that was that was just like the Dow.
Yeah, it was.
We
Yes, it
noticed
was.
that the Dow and Rusty kind of move together.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. And usually cleaner moves. Usually cleaner moves. For Ander in the chat, does Topstep offer level 2? We do. It's going to be on your add-ons in your dashboard. You're not going to get open interest from level 2 data. You can get that from the CME website. It's posted on the CME website every morning. But what you will get on level 2 with level 2 data is a fuller depth of market. You get to see where some of those orders are. If you hear us on TopstepTV saying, hey, there's 1,000 lot in the S&P at this price, we're seeing that with level 2 data. All right. Let's take a look at the metals. This is gold. That's regular trading hours, though. We'll go to extended trading hours. Take a look at gold on the daily. What are we seeing here, Coach Paul?
Still in that range.
Yep. You can almost barely see that candle.
Volatility is just being strung out. We still have time to pay. And look at that candle, today's candle.
It almost wasn't there.
Yeah, I was like, can you update that? So just copy everything we said yesterday and paste it to today.
Pretty much. Range day did present some opportunity, but that opportunity is near the extremes of the range. Like Coach Paul said, the daily ATR is decreasing. It's under 80 now. And it's been the first time under 80 since for a little while now. First time under 80 for a little while in gold. So the volatility is coming out of this market just a little bit. What's that white line? This is a 30-minute chart, kind of hanging out there. And we had another one. We talked about this during the opening call as well, where we had price trade below the 200 moving average. Volume didn't. But this is just a range bound market right now. Yeah, go
And
ahead,
you
Coach Paul.
notice that the 200 is flattening. The curve is.
Yeah.
Why? Well, we just saw the daily, and the volatility is coming out. The longer range moving averages are going to start flattening out. They're all going. We saw this happen in, what was it, from March through April, February through April, through the last 90 days of sideways action. And it's starting to look very, very similar.
Yes, it is. Very similar. That VWAP barely left that first 30-minute range, and when it did, price was already coming back down. Yeah, is there opportunity to trade in this? There is. I saw Barron took a long last night during slow markets, was looking for a sweep of this high, which we eventually got. I know he took his profits on his trade. So there are trades here. The range is still big enough.
Yep. Oh,
But
yeah.
it's just, if you're looking for breakouts, it's just not happening right now. Not happening right now.
Well, it's interesting talk too that JP Morgan's going to move their metals trading desk to Singapore.
Huh.
Like, I find that kind of funny. It was going to happen overnight. I don't know. You know, JP Morgan's a big bank
Yeah.
and they're pretty powerful. They're not moving their desks overnight to Singapore. It's not happening. So,
Right.
but there's a lot of underlying talk about metals and in futures. If that happened, that the Shanghai gold futures would be the leading futures. I don't, you know, there's buzz about all this. I don't know if it came from the information.
Cite your sources. Cite your sources. All right. Courtney asks, why do you think they would do?
If they did it,
Mm.
a deal for regulatory issues be one reason. Asia is taking over. You know, we noticed this all year. Where did the move start in gold earlier in the year?
Yeah, during the Asia session.
And it would probably go to they would probably go to Singapore. It's much friendlier jurisdiction. I actually had to spend time in Singapore with a company. It's a great place, but if that happened, it would most likely be a regulatory issue. Now, with a tin hat, all my gold, silver longs will always bitch that JP Morgan was manipulating the price of silver down through futures. And I heard that for 25 years.
Okay.
So I don't, you know, but it is interesting. Start watching open interest. If that did happen, that would be kind of shocking. So
we got a question in the chat here, and also Micah. Thanks for joining us. I think I don't know if I've seen that name in the chat before, but says love the analysis. Thanks, mate. We thank you for being here and for joining us. If you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate you all being here. There was a question from Filibuster. Have you guys noticed that the dollar is no longer correlated with gold? I just put a link to the correlation matrix that Hogue shared. Seems like years ago now. But if you look at the last 30 days, the correlation between the dollar and gold is weaker than it normally is. So maybe you are noticing something there. It's not something that I pay attention to every day, but based on that correlation matrix, it says over the last 30 days, that strength of that relationship is definitely weaker. All right. Silver made new all-time highs today. Who's been trading silver? I know we have some traders that have. This is a range-bound day in silver. Made a new all-time high, but Coach Paul, this makes me think of that analogy that you had of being in the gym and lifting too much weight, lifting more weight than you've ever lifted before. Silver's literally lifting more than it's ever lifted before. These are all-time highs, and it's a little indecisive up here.
Yeah. Well, look at today's action. We saw the VWAP was basically flat. I mean, has take out one of those lows. I mean, we've had high
Right.
lows. That could happen tonight. But like you said, it's slowing down on top. Maybe due for a little correction. But overall, this is a very friendly
Oh yeah,
chart.
yeah, yeah. I don't want to
Okay.
be the first person to short it. I know that. I'm still curious to see what happens at the $60 level if we get up there. Uh, it almost feels like a when we get up there, not an if. We're just about just under 2% off that $60 level. Again, these are all-time highs, but this is a trending metal market right now. All right. Anything else on the metals, Coach Paul? We want to move over to the energies.
Acknowledged.
Well, there was a big move in copper today, wasn't there? Let's take a
Yeah, there
quick look.
was. Yes, there was. Copper. First candle close above this tariff sell-off since it printed. That's a good
The
read.
halfway mark.
Yeah. Yeah. First candle
Yeah.
close above halfway. Right.
Interesting. Still hard to trade. Let's look at the. I probably had some urgency last night.
You are correct, my friend. You are correct.
God, it looks like the yen last night.
Wow.
Very similar chart.
What a move. Sheesh.
So once again, we talk about urgency. I think that under the dictionary would be
Acknowledged.
urgent buying. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Urgent buying, first 30-minute range identified, volume and price leave that range and do not look back. And this is an example of where that urgency leads to the trend for the rest of the day. VWAP was extremely supportive, right? So whether they were buying to open positions or covering shorts, let's look at the daily. I could imagine some people covering shorts if you were still holding shorts above these highs that we haven't traded above since we printed them. Whatever it was, that it was some aggressive buying really all day.
Yeah.
In copper. Nice move there. Again, not something I trade. I know the last time I traded. Actually, I know the last time it was before that 25% sell-off day. After that, I have not placed one trade there.
Neither have I.
Yeah. But it moved today. It did move today. All right, let's
take
take
above that 200 too. It took off.
Right. Hey, this is where we say it all the time. I didn't even notice that. Great eye, Coach Paul. Whatever technical analysis you use can apply to whatever market you want to trade, right? If you learn how to read a chart and read the markets, you could be trading copper, cocoa, Swiss franc futures, the Mexican peso, the NASDAQ, whatever you want. You should be able to apply it. Each market is going to have its own personality and move based on different things and have a different pace, but you can apply it literally anywhere, right? What did we pull up this chart. There's two things you identify: above the 200 moving average, urgency. We got to remember at the end of the day, these are just markets that we're trading, right? These are just markets. Speaking of markets that may not be presenting a ton of opportunity, we'll go to the energies. We'll go crude oil first, and then natural gas. What are you seeing here in crude oil, Coach Paul, that we haven't said already?
Oh, I thought we were here yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, we were. Wow. There's nothing else to say.
Yeah. Literally buy it, sell it, buy it. They broke the pattern. Buy it, sell it, buy it, sell it, buy it.
Yeah, someone's doing it. Is anyone in this our audience trading crude and doing well?
Anyone trading this market? Right now the trade has been buy it somewhere below 58.50, sell it above 59.50. We kind of ended the day in the middle of the range, so it's going to decide where it wants to go. And if you can hear that squeaking toy, my dog is having some fun over there. But He Return of the MACD says hell no. I mean, for a range trader, if you are a range trader, and we keep saying this, it is presenting some opportunity. You almost have to put a limit order out there somewhere and just let it work. Grassmaster says, I took a short on crude overnight but got stopped out. I removed oil for Ethereum. Not a bad idea, right? Ethereum, we see it move percentage-wise a lot. Personally, if I was going to trade crude oil, it would be small size near the extremes, and then the stop has to go somewhere where the market has to do something completely out of the ordinary. If I'm getting short up here, my stop has to go somewhere above $60 and come and get me. And if I'm getting long down near 58s, my stop is probably somewhere near 57s, and it's going to be an inverted risk to reward trade, right? I'd probably be risking more than I'm willing to make or I'm able to make. But that's the only way I could see this. I would, and I don't know where you got short yesterday, Matt, but if you're getting short somewhere up near the upper extreme here, anything above 59.50, it looks like a great trade. It's just, how tight is that stop? But
Either way, I mean, bottom line is having a plan to trade it.
right,
But I will tell you this, what's happening in the volatility
yeah,
is because now with the volatility is just getting crushed. What does that mean? The ranges are getting crushed.
yep,
So when the range is getting crushed, you have to do more size if you want the same bang for your buck. That's, to me, from my personal, that gets tough. So when this does break out,
3 years from
it's
now,
going to be pretty dramatic.
right.
We're not there yet, but look at that range. There you go. You shaped it up nicely.
Yeah, and so
This is
I saw Matt got short at 59, and Matt, you said, pretty bad trade, not gonna lie, and it happens. I feel like this used to happen to me all the time as a trader, and sometimes still happens if I don't identify that the market's in a range. Just look at where 59 was, right in the middle of the range, for what we're seeing right now. So, geez, can you guys hear the
Hey,
dog barking?
yeah,
Yeah, he has like
he's
all of his toys
protecting
right
you.
now. He has all his toys right now. He's just going crazy down there. But yeah, it almost looks like you could let's see, you could like black out this area and say nothing in the middle. Right,
Okay,
just don't trade in the middle.
interesting.
Yeah,
Keep that on for tomorrow.
right. Let's see what happens. Extend that a little bit, but let's go to a market that is actually presenting some directional opportunity. Wow, natural gas. It's trending up. We talked about this, one of the biggest percentage movers on the day, and that is going to be a consistent theme, I believe, over the next month or so at least. What are you seeing here, Coach Paul?
Oh, onward and upward.
Yep.
Holding that 200 very well, and dips are being bought. I don't know. It's pretty cold here in Chicago,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to be in a single with wind chills around 0 tomorrow. It's still pretty early for that kind of. So natural gas demand probably spiking, but we didn't know this was going to happen when we had that gap about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. We're holding that gap, and we're above the 200. We're above the long-term downtrend line. It's onward and upward.
Yes, it is. I just heard some volume go off somewhere. I don't know where it was. I'm trying to find it. Mohammed was saying that there was some size up in the S&P on the offer up here. I didn't see it, but yeah, natural gas just onward and upward. Another, put it in the dictionary. This is urgency. Where was I? Why wasn't I trading this? I think I was making dinner. But
It looks like it looks very much like the copper.
yeah, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it
Now
does.
that wow. I mean, how many times do we see this? What is it? Looks like the rusty.
Yep, the
It looks
Russell
like Dow on
copper,
the opening.
the Dow. Yeah, that is the definition of urgency. Chat, and I think I've asked this before, but if anybody ever sees anything like this on a chart, and you know we're not going to see it like this, but if you ever see it like this, feel free to send me a message. Tag me in Discord or in the YouTube chat if we're in slow markets. Just let me know if you see something like that, because that is one directional market. EMS says, "What a pretty chart for a lazy long," right? I mean, and again, you don't know it's going to look like this until it does. But what does Coach Paul say all the time? 2-to-1 is great for a day trade, right? If I took this trade on a 30-minute chart, there's my risk and a 2-to-1. You catch most of the move, right? That's 2 ATRs on a 30-minute chart. On the close above the high, let's say I don't get the best trade location and I'm late to the move, quote unquote, late to the move. You still get a 2-to-1 somewhere. This is a market that's presenting opportunity and directional opportunity for sure. All right. Any other markets we want to talk about, Coach Paul? We got 15 minutes left.
Yeah, we talked about the yen yesterday.
Yes, we
And
did.
I said I kind of like the sell side.
What is all this stuff I have on this yen chart?
We haven't been there in a while.
What the heck is going on here? All right, I'm gonna try to keep some of these trend lines on here, but this is a mess.
All right. Isn't there a way to clean them all with one fell swoop?
Yeah, but I wanted to try to leave the trend lines on there.
All right.
There we go. We got our trend lines. Somehow I removed the moving averages also. Put those back on there. Okay, here we go.
All right.
That's why we drew that trend line.
Yes.
April highs. Okay.
Yes.
What are you seeing here, Coach Paul?
Well, on the daily, we're at the 20-day moving average. And I thought I could get a sell against it last night. So I waited, being objective. We'll go for the opening range, the opening half hour.
Take a look at the opening half hour. Man, what is that white line? Also, Dante, I saw your comment in the chat. Want to read that one out. I love At the Buzzer, guys. If it wasn't for you, I probably would never open my eyes to other markets. Just want to say I appreciate you guys. Seriously, this is so worth it. Honestly, if it wasn't for us doing this segment, and one of the things Coach Paul and I talked about when we thought about doing this 2 years ago was, hey, there's a lot of focus on the main markets, not just at Topstep, everywhere, right? Literally everywhere. I watch a lot of stuff in the trading space as well, and I think we probably cover the most markets out of any channel out there and any stream out there. Now, with that being said, does it mean that we're going to suggest trading all 36 markets that we have at Topstep? Absolutely not. But what it does mean is that there's opportunity in places that sometimes people are overlooking and might be an easier trade, right? There's no guarantee that if you trade a slower market than the NASDAQ that you're going to be a profitable trader, but we know what the win rate is. And again, I've said it before, but the NASDAQ is like learning how to drive on a NASCAR track or a Formula One track and bringing awareness to other markets. And I got to give a shout out to Coach Paul for that being your idea when we talked about this 2.5 years ago, has helped me in my trading, where, hey, I don't have to default to one market. And now if you're a beginner trader and you're still learning your strategy and things like that, should you be bouncing around? Probably not. But like we talked about, and here's another example of urgency, Coach Paul, when you can identify a setup that you're looking for, you can apply it to whatever market you want. And then it's your job to execute from there. So go ahead, Coach Paul. I'll let you take this one.
Well, thank you. And by the way, that's why we do this. And I know if this helps, that's awesome. Part of the reason I do it, I came from a small an exchange that it's called the Mid-America Commodity Exchange. It's the mini contracts of all the biggest contracts where people could, with a small amount of money, come and learn.
Yep.
But when I started, it was whatever was busy. You could literally take 10, 20 steps and be in 3 different pits. And one that was loud was doing volume. And if you knew how to trade, good traders would go from the hog pit to the gold pit without missing a beat. So that's how I see. I've traded just about everything. Doesn't mean you have to.
Right.
But there is a lot of opportunity. And once again, speaking of opportunity, I said I was looking to sell.
You did.
Okay. I'll bring this up. And I waited for the first half an hour, and then into the second half an hour, I'm like, well, okay. What is the market telling me versus what do I want to see?
Right.
And right there, that second half, and I just, okay, I'll buy one. And I think the risk was $125.
Nice.
But we just saw this in 4 or 5 different markets.
Mm-hmm.
That urgency means that there's a larger size is coming in there because it takes larger size. All right, we see the structure of VWAP. It doesn't go up because of just price. It needs some volume to drive it up.
Yep.
And that had urgency that stuck above. Notice the low of the day.
Right off that white line.
Yeah, it was a nice 2-to-1 trade. We had a sharp break early when the equities opened, went right back to volume point of control, and made new highs on the day. And look what happened to the volume point of control. Never moved. Yeah, once it established. So look where it came on that big break.
Right to it.
Right to it. Now,
right to it.
To me, I mean, look at that could have been what we just talked about. It could have been copper. It could have been heck. I wish I had the copper and the natural gas. That's all I want,
right?
Really. But
yeah,
there's a classic case of urgency.
Absolutely. Really nice move there in the end. And this point of control not moving, we can talk about this a little bit more. But that's a nice look there.
Well, it also validates the urgency.
Right.
What does that mean? The volume took place early, the biggest volume, and it didn't remove it.
Right.
So there's a large bid down there. We didn't find so the volume didn't rotate to the top at the end of the day,
which would have meant there were some sellers up here.
Yes, but there wasn't in relation to volume, not just price. So it didn't find sellers of equal value. Very interesting. Now, once again, you heard me talking. I was looking to sell this.
Yep.
And I talked earlier in the show, be careful getting anchored. I hit in my younger days, I would have stuck to that sell because I was right.
Yep.
Just not yet. You ever catch yourself in one of those
Oh yeah,
situations?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I think I was in that situation last week. Legitimately.
I'm right. It's just not yet. The market doesn't know how right I am. The
Right.
market doesn't care. But classic example of a volume example and a 200-day moving average.
100%. Matt in the chat says, I wrote that down, Coach Paul. What is the market telling me versus what I want to see? Yeah, I mean, if we can stay objective that way, and we have to be confident in executing a strategy, right? But we also have to be confident in the fact that we don't control what happens here. And that's okay, right? The sooner you can accept that you don't control what happens here, the easier it is, I think, to just pay attention to what the
Yeah.
market says. And I'm going to keep an eye on the yen because this is the third night in a row that we've seen an urgency trade.
Yeah.
Watch it dry up. But 4 out of 5. Our job as traders is to identify opportunity and see how we can take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk.
So let's look at the yen yesterday with that urgency.
Yeah.
Now we have urgency. Now let's do a volume profile. So it did flip. We found some buyers
Late.
late. Today, we have not found sellers. Now, it'll be interesting because that daily 20-day moving average is right around this area. Now, with all that said, reading from the opening, getting in the flow. It's very much like but surfing. You
Yep.
don't know which one you're going to catch. The better you are, the better waves you catch. You can ride them, but identifying them, that opening range breakout can be a nice place to identify.
Yeah, I know we did have some news out, some planned numbers out from in Japan over the past couple of days, so that could have led to some of the movement that we're seeing. Columbus
Yeah,
asked in the chat, "What is the opening time for the yen?" Well, all the futures markets, I shouldn't say all, because some of the ags open at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Everything opens at 6 p.m. Eastern for the most part, and that's the candle that we're framing out here. But what I would say is the volume starts to pick up right around 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern time, and that's kind of just looking at what happens on these charts here. Look at these volume spikes on the bottom of the chart. Where do they all start to pick up? Right around the same time, right around 7 p.m., 7:30 Eastern time.
Tokyo Open, Shanghai Open,
Yep.
Asian markets are all open at that time.
Yeah, but sometimes you could get on.
Sometimes
you
they
get
all
on the
want to
train at the
buy.
depot, right? They started early.
Well, you know, yesterday, remember, we hit a J trade off the lows.
Yeah, we did. It's still holding.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I pulled
nice.
that volume profile, Coach Paul, from yesterday where we saw that flip.
Uh-huh.
Today's action didn't flip it. So there was a ton of buying down here.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because even it's a great point. There was huge volume.
Yeah.
Marked as selling.
But we know that there was a buyer down there, passive buyer down there.
There had to be some buying. It just doesn't, you can't sell to no one.
Right.
Doesn't happen. But beautiful J trade there.
Absolutely. We got a question in the chat here about Topstep levels. Yeah, I think Wheat just answered it. The S&P, NASDAQ, gold, and crude oil are the markets that we have Topstep levels for. I don't think we have the Dow. No, we don't have it for the Dow. S&P, NASDAQ, crude oil, and gold are our big four. But, I even heard Hogue mention it this morning during the opening call, right? Hey, should we start talking about silver during the opening call? Because it is a market that is in play right now until it isn't. Did I take any trades today? I did. I took in a personal account, I was back and forth, kind of got chopped up a little bit, and then towards the end of the day, I had a short in the S&P. I think I made $150 today. Coach Paul, on the other hand, had a pretty decent trading day. Coach Paul, what did you trade today? Couple of
I
things.
traded the yen,
Yep.
Rusty, and the micro S&P.
Nice.
I had a decent day. Most of it came from the yen.
The yen. Yeah, that was a great trade. That was a great trade. Oh, I did want to point out on the yen where we are right now. 20-day moving average, which holds as a trend line in trending markets. So could be an interesting spot for some action today.
Heck, we could get the downside tonight. I don't
Right.
know.
No, I know what I'll be looking at in about an hour, and I'm on slow markets tonight, so we'll see if the yen presents an opportunity. Any other markets? We are at time here, Coach Paul. Any other markets you want to talk about before we go? Anything else on your scouting report?
Bitcoin still
Bitcoin.
gaining a little momentum. Made a nice trade today. Where did it stop?
20-day moving
20-day
average.
moving average. But that's still that J trade on the daily, and we're above it.
Yep. And I saw when I don't want to misquote it, but some big firm opened up ETF buying of crypto ETF buying. Damn it! I saw it on Twitter. I need to start bookmarking these things. But that happened yesterday.
Well, yeah, I bought myself some XRP.
Okay. Vanguard. That's what it was. Thanks.
Was it Vanguard is doing it? Well,
Yeah.
as old school as you can get.
Suits are in crypto now.
2011. I would have never thought that. I mean, that was. We'll talk about it some other time. Now it's purely mainstream worldwide.
Yep. Buy sell line says you characterize the Dow against the Nas. How would you characterize Bitcoin? Let's see. I mean, it kind of moves like the equity markets, right?
Yeah. Let's say it's more like an S&P lately.
Right. Let's fix this. What are we doing here? Come on. What is going on here? Here's the Bitcoin on the left, NASDAQ on the right. We can put the S&P on the right. As soon as I figure out what the hell I'm doing right here. All right, there we go. Similar. Although, crypto did get beat up, and I think Bitcoin is still negative on the year.
Oh yeah, because it was. Well, it was unchanged when we started, like 2 months ago.
Yeah,
it was break.
Yes,
so absolutely, but there's a technician though that J trade off those bottoms of the move, and a nice rally beginning, and get above that 20-day moving average. I think we could see January as a. What are you talking about? Why didn't I buy it again?
Juice Trading says, is there a micro yen? There is actually, but we cannot trade it with Topstep accounts. There are some microcurrency futures that we can trade. If you type in M6 on your platform, you can see micro Australian dollar, euro, and British pound. There is a micro yen, but I honestly don't know how much volume it trades. And micros for natural gas, MNG. Yep.
I wouldn't worry about the yen if you're doing a one lot.
Good point.
On a 30-minute chart.
Yeah, you said your risk on that trade was what, $125?
Yep.
Right. It's basically a micro.
Yeah. The average true range on a 30-minute chart is 43. oh my God, it's 12 and a half times $60.
$60 on a 30-minute.
Yep, even a little less.
A market
It's a
that you
good
can take.
place to learn how to trade, by the way.
Right. You can take reasonable risk. Are you going to be an instant profitable trader trading the yen? You're not, right? That unfortunately doesn't work like that. But you could trade it, and as long as you're not over leveraging, not blow an account. At least not in a day, right? If you just hit a streak of losing trades, there is downside to trading, but I don't know with a one lot, Coach Paul, in the yen. I want to measure this now. What was that move dollar wise?
Oh, it's like almost $600. Right.
And you had to hold it the whole day. You could have been wrong the entire day and still held an account. All right, but Juice says it is. Go ahead, Coach.
I wouldn't do that, but
No,
yeah.
You could have.
No, the was a $400 range from that point at buy.
Right.
The range of the day was just $475.
There you go. A market that is hard to blow an account, unless, of course, you're attempting to blow an account. But Juice, I agree with you. It is getting late. We got coaches doing classes in Discord. Today is Wednesday. Coach Hoop is doing his class 6 p.m. Eastern time. Then we have Coach Rain, Coach Vince, 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern. Dakota with slow markets tonight at 7:30. Aaron is not doing his stream tomorrow morning, but D is, and that is at 4:30 a.m. Eastern time. Coach Paul, anything you got to say before we go?
Plan your trade your plan, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
And I had that backwards. Aaron is doing his stream. Deanna is not. Aaron is doing his stream. Deanna is not. So 1:30 Central, 2:30 Eastern time for Aaron trades. He's going to be trading gold. Trade well, everybody. Manage your risk. Thank you for joining. As always, hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. And we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.